Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. So I know the T'au Codex has been pretty much leaked entirely online, so you've probably all seen a lot or most of it by now, but I actually haven't. I'm keeping it a bit of a surprise for myself. So the Warhammer Community article yesterday about the T'au and their Septs was actually brand new news for me, so I wanted to dive in today and take a bit of a closer look. So yes, the article yesterday covers the various T'au Septs, and as always in the new codexes of 9th edition, there are 6 to choose from, as well as a variation of their own create your own sept, which a lot of armies have in 9th edition. GW showed off a couple of the main T'au ones, in particular Dal Yith, and apologies for the brutal pronunciation on some of these, but the Dal Yith has the tenet of trading partners, which gives you light cover on infantry models against enemy shots as long as they aren't in engagement range, which is a huge buff over the usual 12 inches or 18 inches away. So it is going to be a really useful little trait to help keep your guys alive a little bit longer, especially with an army like T'au where your opponent is more than likely going to want to get nice and close so that they can chop you to pieces. So keeping that light cover bonus for as long as possible is a really nice buff. The second part of the Dal Yith trait is that your auxiliary units also benefit from the tactical philosophies, so your Montcar or your Carrion. And again, this is incredibly strong, giving all of those Kroot and those Vespid units that you may bring a really nice damage output buff alongside the rest of your troops. They also show off a brand new warlord trait for the Sacia Sept. This one, Strategic Commander, allows you to select a friendly unit within 9 inches and they gain OBSEC for the turn, counting as double the models if they already had OBSEC. And once again, this is a brilliant little ability, granting a unit OBSEC or super duper OBSEC in the latter case I suppose, can swing a game completely in your favour if it comes down to that last clutch objective grab on the last turn of the game. It's one of those abilities that's a bit understated and a bit undervalued, I think, but means that every single turn you can potentially guarantee that an objective you desperately need will be yours to gain new points, or at the very least you can deny it for your opponent to deny them points that they might need. Alongside the usual warlord trait and stratagem, your chosen sept also grants you a unique relic, of course, and the article gave us a look at the T'au relic, which is the vectored maneuvering thrusters. Not only does this give you an extra 2 inches to the bearer's movement, which is really handy on something like a battlesuit commander, for example, but then also once per battle, when your HQ is targeted for a charge, you can use the ability of the relic and it lets you make a free normal move. So you can absolutely just jump back totally out of charge range of your opponent's unit and completely negate that enemy charge. The opponent can declare another target afterwards if they want, so it doesn't completely neuter their charge, but it does mean that you can make your HQ ridiculously slippery and just keep away from the enemy's scariest melee units, and if you bait him out a little bit, you can do a really fun, frustrating ability to lure your enemy out, make them fail the charge and give them no other good targets, but then leave them right in the middle of the board, ready, high and dry for all of your shooting next turn to just shoot them to pieces. The final thing they show off from one of the main septs is the new amazingly strong stratagem for the Borkhan sept, which for 2 CP lets you choose a model in a unit and select one weapon on that model, so for example the Storm Surge Pulsed Blast Cannon, and then until the end of that phase, that weapon's shots ignore invuns. So yes, ignoring invulnerable saves, 12 damage, blast guns are on the table. There you go, 2 CP very well spent. It's a very strong stratagem obviously, and I think even if you don't have a Storm Surge, there is almost always going to be a good gun on one of your units to make use of this on and ignore your enemy inruns. What they also show off is the create your own sept idea, and the one for the T'au is, in my opinion, unbelievably cool. I really do love it, and I wish that all of the create your own chapter tactics style rules in the codexes are like this going forward, because it just has a bit more fluff and lore and background and kind of variety to it compared to, for example, the one you see in the Space Marine Codex. So the way it works is that there are still a selection of different bonuses and rules to choose from, but unlike things like the Marines where you just randomly select 2 of them, with the T'au there are a choice of different sectors, each which contain different bonuses, and you have to choose one from each, like you do with the Marines, but they have to be from 2 differing sectors that have to be kind of adjacent to each other. So you can take one from sector D, for example, and then you have to choose your second one from either sector A or sector E. And again, they show off a few of these. Play their part, which lets battlesuits with a less than 9 wounds count as 3 models for holding an objective, and blocking tactics, which gives your units obsec if it's made a charge move. So it's a bit of an odd combo, like in terms of you want to get your units up into melee with this kind of thing, but it's not a bad buff if you really need to steal an objective from an opponent and you can just plonk down, some obsec units or some battlesuits that count as more for the purposes of controlling an objective. So you can potentially just steal an objective from an opponent quite easily with some of these abilities. They also show off a Sector D and a Sector E trait, Reinforced Armor, which is a nice little buff, meaning that against Strength 7 or less attacks which are firing into your vehicles or your battlesuits, your enemy has to reduce the strength of the attack by 1. So this will turn Strength 7 attacks down to Strength 6, meaning your opponents will probably go to wounding on 5s instead of 4s against your vehicles, or making things like Heavy Bolters go to wounding on 5s against your battlesuits. Again, I think it's going to be a bit of an understated rule, but one that is actually quite powerful and really will help to keep your suits and your vehicles alive that much longer against sort of mid-strength firepower. And then finally, they show off Rapid Retreat, which means that you fall back an extra 3 inches whenever a unit is chosen to fall back, which might again be really, really helpful for keeping your forces away from your opponents, when your forces fall back, and can really do wonders to just help you play towards that T'au tactic of being incredibly slippery and sneaky and staying away from your opponent and just leaving them in the middle of the board ready to get shot up by all of your guns. Overall, there are some really nice rules and buffs and abilities coming for the T'au, it seems, and I think the T'au create your own Sept process is honestly one of the most fun rules and kind of combination of abilities that I've seen in any 9th edition codex, so I really, really do like that, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what combinations that people can make when they come up with their own unique force. But what do you think? Do you like these new rules? And do you think that a named Sept or one of the create your own ones will be the better option when the codex finally drops? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.